Hooray! Thiamidol has come to the US. It's available at Ulta and Amazon and drugstores in general. Hello, friend, and welcome back. Today we are doing an updated review of the US version of Eucerin's Thiamidol Dual Serum under the label Radiant Tone. I have never tried the European version of Dual Serum, but I'm going to, and we'll get to why pretty quickly here. Radiant Tone is the sub-brand under Eucerin. I believe there are 4 or 5 products now. There's a cleanser, there's the Dual Serum, there's the AM with SPF, and then there's the PM. There might be either a spot treatment or under eye cream as well, but both of those exist in the European version. It is a very similar package. From what I understand, the texture is very similar. It's just a heartier, creamy serum. It's very spreadable. If I use a full pump of this with some other serums and layering, it does tend to pill up on me, so I don't love that, but otherwise, it's a very lovely texture, sort of a satiny dry down when you just leave it all on its own. It is very heavily fragranced, just like all of the other ones. I do think it's a little bit less fragranced than the European Illuminating Serum that I'm comparing this to. Yeah, otherwise there's still denatured alcohol very high up on the list. I'm thinking that you kind of have to use denatured alcohol to stabilize or keep that in the formula, keep the thiamidol in, just because it's in all of the products, even stuff for around the eye. So that just makes me think that you really need it for this particular ingredient. I tried the illuminating serum under the European label, but I'd never tried the dual serum that people say works better, faster, harder, stronger, all the things. What's different about it is the dual serum does have a licorice root extract. It has sodium ascorbyl phosphate, which is a very stable vitamin C derivative that is particularly good for acne. So that's great. And it's meant to just work better on pigment because it has brightening agent, it has, well, 2 brightening agents as well as the thiamidol on top of it. So in theory, I should see better results than just the illuminating serum that doesn't have that additional brightening ingredient, right? I feel like this doesn't perform quite as well as the European label illuminating serum, which we didn't get in the US. I'm hoping we do one day. But when I dug into it, I started looking at the ingredients, and even just the ingredients between the US version Radiant Tone Dual Serum that I have here versus the European anti-pigment dual serum, they should be identical. There's nothing in there that is at weird concentrations or weird ingredients that is not okay in the EU versus the US. They should be able to just carry it over and slap a different label on it, but they didn't. We can't just compare an ingredient list and say, oh, because this position is different than this position, we know something about the concentration. But when we compare two should be identical products and the ingredients are in different positions, it makes me question if that is what's different. On the anti-pigment, the European label dual serum, thiamidol is the 11th ingredient on the list versus in the Radiant Tone, the American dual serum, it is 14th on the list. And same for some of the other ingredients. The licorice root extract in the European label, it's 14th on the ingredient list versus in the American, it is 15th. And the sodium ascorbyl phosphate is 12th on the European label versus 13th on the American label. So I mean, the biggest difference is the thiamidol, which is what we're looking for when we're going for this product. And it is 3 positions lower on the ingredient list than on the European, which makes me think that it is slightly less concentrated. And if that's the active ingredient we're looking for, why would they change up the formula? Why would they give us in the US a lower concentration? These are all well within safety limits because they follow the FDA. I now have to try the dual serum under the European label, so I'm going to reach out and try to get a hold of one of those. They're approximately the same price depending on shipping, depending on some exchange rates, factors like that. But Eucerin's Radiant Tone Dual Serum The US label is $39.99 US dollars. It is 1 fluid ounce and 30 milliliters, exact same size as the European label. I will dig into this deeper. I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that and give you my quick experience. Also to say, hooray, Thiamidol has come to the US. It's available at Ulta and Amazon and drugstores in general. You should be able to pick it up pretty easily. So I would recommend starting with the dual serum. If you're able to work in others, that's great, but at least trying this twice a day, it has been enormously helpful for my melasma. It just strikes me as strange that they wouldn't have the exact same formula and list it the exact same way in the US versus European Union unless they've changed something. And here's the other weird thing. When I went on the website, I will show it here. This is the ingredient list that I pulled up, and here is the ingredient list for the anti-pigment, the European label. The isobutylamido thiazole or thiamidol is nowhere to be found on US label ingredient list from Eucerin's website. So I'm sure that that was just a misprint, but there's just very interesting things with this product. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you've tried Thiamidol, let me know how that went. If you have melasma or pigmentation problems, I would encourage you to give it a shot. Some people do report some irritation from this, and I was trying to think of why that could be. My skin is pretty sensitive, and I didn't have any issues with it. And it probably comes down to denatured alcohol and fragrance. If you're super, super sensitive to fragrance and denatured alcohol, maybe skip this one, but otherwise it's worth a shot even for sensitive skin because it does so well with melasma in my experience. Thank you so much for joining me on today's conspiracy theory video. If you have suggestions for products you want me to try, leave that down below. As always, I so appreciate that you've joined me and watched this video and you're just a part of this tribe. So thanks. Until next time, be well, my friend.